Yeah, for a good like 10 seconds.
Okay, Thea, you got the floor.
Alright, so Pacific Heights was built pretty much just after the 1906 earthquake. And more than half of San Francisco's population went homeless, so they didn't really have anywhere to live. A lot of, as you can see, like there's the statistics here. 500 city blocks were destroyed, 28,000 homes were ruined, so as you can see, like there's a lot of loss here and people needed to move to a different place. And at that time, to build a home, you really needed to have a lot of money, and the only people who really had a lot of money were white people, so that kind of explains the demographics. So that's kind of why Pacific Heights is not so diverse. And furthermore, Pacific Heights was redlined. Sections of Pacific Heights were considered green or blue, meaning that there was very low risk that the tenants would not pay their monthly rent. And redlining explains more of the demographics here because the whites were less likely to rent, or the landlords were less likely to rent to minorities because they were considered like hazardous or risks. Also, the Fair Housing Act was passed after 1968, so that means that the landlords had the ability to deny persons of color to a home simply because of their race. And Pacific Heights is really rent controlled because all of the homes were built before the act was passed. So that means if someone had like an apartment like 30 years ago, their rent would basically be the same today. And if they're really rich white people, that means like they're going to be paying off their mortgage, they're still going to be living here, and they're never really going to want to move out. And I basically brought you here because you can see the bay down there, and the houses move up the hills, and we're basically at the top. After that hill, it just goes down, and that's like the marina in Cow Hollow. And it's really interesting because Cow Hollow is not considered like as high class as Pacific Heights, and the western addition there is also red line. That was considered like a red area, so it's kind of like a sandwich here, and that's really interesting. And yeah, do you guys have any questions?
I like